Are you skeptical about vaccines, about aliens and monoliths, about ghosts? Nowadays the word skepticism means having doubts about something, or not trusting it. We say I don't believe in ghosts, I'm skeptical. But that's not what skepticism meant in ancient Greece. Skepticism comes from the Greek word skepsis, meaning investigation. Have you ever felt distressed when failing to solve a mystery? The more you research about it, the more you investigate it, the more you feel lost. It's unsettling. Ancient skeptics were obsessed with this phenomenon and dealt with it by offering a solution. In a nutshell, ancient skepticism is a process to reach tranquility, peace of mind. You start investigating what the truth is and reach many different explanations, all equally plausible. Then what you do is suspending your judgment rather than fretting over which explanation might be the one. This will free you from the anxiety of knowing what the truth is. You will reach tranquility. Let's get a closer look at what ancient skepticism is by considering Rashomon, 12 Angry Men and Zodiac. Let's start with Rashomon, a classic from Akira Kurosawa. Three guys are sheltering from the rain. Two of them are very distressed by what has just happened. They have just left a trial and they are very disturbed. Because of the rain, they have a lot of time to tell the third guy what they heard during the trial. A samurai was found dead. First, we hear the story from the perspective of the thief. He admits to having killed the samurai. Then, we hear the story from the wife of the samurai. In her version, she killed her husband. Next, we hear the story from the samurai, the dead man himself. He says that he took away his life. All three of them admitted to having killed the samurai. Their accounts of the incident are equally plausible. But which can you trust? They can't all be telling the truth. Are they all lying? Finally, we hear the version from this guy who saw what happened. He says that the thief killed the samurai, but his version is different from the thief's version. We can't trust him because he stole a dagger from the crime scene and didn't confess, which suggests that he didn't say the whole truth. Alright, so here we have a story where not being able to find the truth led the monk and the other guy to feel distressed. Now let's look back at the story, but this time through the lens of ancient skepticism. First, there is an investigation, the search for the truth. You want to know who killed the samurai, so you want to know the versions from everyone who was involved. After hearing the four versions, you have reached an impasse. The version told by the samurai makes as much sense as the version told by the woman, but the samurai says he killed himself and the woman says she killed him. They can't be true at the same time, but each version is equally plausible. If each version has equal weight, then one should suspend judgment. Suspending judgment means not committing yourself to any version. No single version is more plausible than the others. The wise thing to do then is to affirm nothing, to be speechless. This would lead to tranquility. You will become free from anxiety of finding out the truth. In Rashomon, the monk and the other guy didn't reach that tranquility. It might seem a bit strange, but the only one that wasn't bothered by not finding the truth was the bad one, the one who steals the kimono from the baby at the end of the movie. But he was never interested in the truth to begin with. He just wanted to be entertained during the rain. The ancient skeptic is someone committed to the truth. The monk and the other guy, on the other hand, were interested in the truth, but they don't reach the tranquility. Not being able to find the truth isn't always unsettling.
I guess we talk.
12 Angry Men is the story about 12 juries who have come to a decision about a crime. A man was killed, and a boy is the main suspect. Their decision needs to be unanimous. If they agree that the boy killed the man, then he will get a death sentence.
The death sentence is mandatory in this case.
At first, 11 out of the 12 men think that the boy was the murderer. One of them has doubts. He shares his doubts and negotiates with the 11, and one by one, they all get unsure as well. This leads them to suspend their judgment. Neither can they affirm the boy was the murderer, nor can they affirm he wasn't. Being speechless isn't an option for them, but all they have to say is that they are not sure. This is enough not to convict the boy. They are not concerned with finding out who did the crime, but only if they can be completely sure whether it was the boy. The 12 men reach peace of mind. That tranquility, however, only reaches the jury. If the boy wasn't convicted, it means that it is still an open case. The police will have to keep investigating. What if the police are never able to find the murderer? What if each evidence from the crime scene points to different directions, different suspects? This is precisely what happens in Zodiac. The movie is about a case that has never been closed. Zodiac, the serial killer, was never found. We follow the story of some people who try to find him. The focus of the film is on one guy, a cartoonist, who is obsessed with finding the Zodiac. Who was the Zodiac? There is more than one suspect. No single piece of evidence is strong enough to convict any of the suspects. Some pieces of evidence point in one direction, others in another. The characters in the movie keep investigating for years, decades. It becomes an obsession. Most of them, after years of obsession, suspend judgment, becoming free from the obsession of finding out who the Zodiac was.
He's still out there, Dave.
No, Robert, I am through with this. I am through with you.
But the protagonist never suspends judgment. It haunts him. The original purpose of finding the Zodiac was to put him in jail. But after decades, the original purpose turns into an obsession that has nothing to do with bringing justice. He just wants to find the Zodiac for the sake of it. Finding the truth would bring him a peace of mind. Because of this, he's never in peace. The ancient skeptics were radicals. They would suspend judgment about everything. I don't think ancient skepticism is right, but they did have a point. Sometimes we come across things we cannot explain, no matter how much effort we put into figuring them out. Maybe the best thing to do in these cases is to suspend judgment and let it go. Maybe we will never find the truth, even if the truth is out there.